Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to the garden. All right, the hydrangeas are in bloom. So that tells you it's July, people. It is July, and it is time for us to do our July garden tour. All right, if this is the first time that you are joining me for one of our garden tours, I'm Naomi, and you gardener here gardening in Zone 7A, St. Louis, Missouri. And I started the video with you looking at my little hotties. Yeah, my little hottie hydrangeas. I can't help but sing every time I say little hottie. Little hottie makes me sing. This is a little hottie hydrangeas. These hydrangeas are beautiful. This is their second season in the garden, and they are doing really, really well. There are 4 hydrangeas planted here in this bed. Let me pull back so you can see them. So that we've got 4 hydrangeas here. The ones that you see that are nicely colored up, these guys get more sun than this little baby right here. This little gentleman sits right here beside this beautifully large, what is this? Green giant arborvitae that's standing about 25 feet tall. I kid you not, right? So he is not getting as much sun. So it's taking some time for my little gentleman here to color up. But guess what? He's still doing his thing, right? Yes. Hey. So pulling back again so you can see the entire bed of the little hottie hydrangeas. Right across from the little hotties on the rose walk, you can glimpse, we're going to just glimpse over the fence real quick. We'll come over here a bit later in the tour. But there are our bobo hydrangeas. Yes, the bobos are starting to be their nice white beautiful fluffy selves. Okay, looking really good, just enjoying that sun. The bobos on this side, they get mostly morning sun and afternoon shade. Okay, but there is something that I want to show you. I want to show you the Rose Island, people. Walk with me. Let's go and look at the Rose Island. Now, on Rose Island, this is where we have our newly planted bare root roses that we got in for this 2024 bare root season. There was a lot of doubt about the island itself and the bed that I've planted them in. It's a newly created bed. The bare roots took quite a while to start doing something, but right now at the beginning of July, my roses are telling me that, okay, Naomi, we got some life in us. We're settling in, and we are beginning to own the space. And look at this little beauty right here. We'll start with this gentleman. This is Bring Me Sunshine. And let me tell you, Bring Me Sunshine, they named this one well, man. Gorgeous rose, gorgeous. Right, the healthiest, the most vigorous so far on the island, right? Doing his thing, really loving him, putting on some growth. Look at that, love it. 3 planted in the space. Let me take you around a bit. Here is number 2. Plant number 2 also has a beautiful, beautiful flower for you. Now, Bring Me Sunshine is supposed to have a really awesome fragrance. I'm not picking up on anything right now, right? And that just could be because my baby is a baby, right? We got babies here, right? Okay, turn it around. Let's see. So all 3 of the Bring Me Sunshines are alive and growing and doing well, which is good. Bouncing over or little lime hydrangeas. These little limes did the same thing that the roses did, yeah? The little limes sat here for quite a while before they showed me something. They sat here looking at me, and I sat across on the patio looking at them, saying, what is going on here? But we've got buds. We've got blooms now. We've got some new growth. We have some potential. So I'm thinking that the plants just really needed some time to get settled into this particular spot. And now they're showing me that, hey, you know, we're going to be happy here. Just give us some time. All right, moving on to the Sophie's Rose. Let me tell you, this rose is cute. I like Sophie. All right, look at her. I love her petals. Oh, Mr. B's coming by to say hi. Don't come too close, Mr. B. All right, look at her petals. I love the way she has these nice little pointed edges on her petals. Almost like, let me see which rose does that. Elizabeth does that. She has the same shaped petals. I think they are so cute. Okay, of the 3 that were planted, 2 are growing. So this is one right here. This is another right here. But we did lose, I lost one at the back. Oh no, where you see all that grass, there was one there. But that's all right. I was thinking that, you know what, I wasn't going to go replace it. But now that I'm seeing this little rose starting to come into her own just a bit, I'm like, you know what? She's going to be cute. So I'm going to go ahead and get a replacement from David Austin for the one that died right here. Okay, we'll go in and submit a replacement request, and so we'll be able to add the 3rd one of her back to that spot next spring. Right, now there is a star on the island, people. There is a star on the island that deserves all of the attention right now, and it is this gentleman right here. Oh, let me take a breath because I'm going to have to talk about him for a minute. Let me come closer so that you can enjoy him. This is James L. Austin. Oh my word. This rose is absolutely beautiful. He is beautiful. It is obvious that he's going to be quite a floriferous. There's that word that I can never say. But it's obvious that he is going to be quite a floriferous rose. He is going to flower like nobody's business, right? He reminds me a lot of Gabriel Oak. And I'm hoping, with my history with David Austin, right? Let me tell you, I tend to get mislabeled roses all the time. And he does look a little bit like a Gabriel, but I'm hoping that it's not Gabriel. I don't think it's Gabriel Oak because we have Gabriel Oak planted on the outside. I'll look at the leaves. But they are similar. But let me tell you, this rose is gorgeous. What makes him such a standout for me is that he shines even if it's cloudy, he shines like right now. But when the sun is out, he starts to sparkle. His petals, he just captures the color of the sun, and his blooms get really bright and they literally sparkle in the sun. So if I am at the other end of the garden and I turn around and look at James, I'm in awe and my eyes go directly to him because of how brightly his color shines in the sun. I don't know if that's a good explanation, but that's the best that I can do. He is gorgeous. All right, now in terms of a fragrance, I haven't picked up on anything because I haven't smelt him yet, right? He's a teeny little thing on the ground. Right, standing about, I don't even think they're a foot tall. Okay, fine, they're probably a foot tall right now, but he is gorgeous, people. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I'm absolutely going to enjoy this rose. Can't you tell? I'm going to love him as much as I love Munstead Wood. I think he's wiggling his way into my heart in that way. This one is a gorgeous rose. Absolutely gorgeous. Let me take you in to see the petals. Beautiful rose. Now we have 3 planted of him in this bed, and all 3, yep, all 3 are doing well. So this is a good thing. The rose walk is finally finally getting started, which is good. You're seeing a lot of grass, right? I did sheet mulching in this bed, and apparently I didn't do it very well, right? I didn't do such a good job of it. So what I will do is a bit later on in the season, I think I'm going to come in with another layer of cardboard, and I'm going to see if I can put a fresh layer in of cardboard, come back in with some compost and some mulch, and see if I can get control of this bed in terms of the grass growing back in. But I am loving on James L. Austin. Love him. All right. Yeah. But yeah, just wanted to show you James, the standout on the island right now. All right, so the Rose Island itself is doing well. Let me show you Hyde Hall. There's one Hyde Hall that is putting on some good growth, which is this little fellow right here. Never mind the cardboard, people. It's a messy island at the moment. It's a work in progress. But this is Hyde Hall. All right, we've got some buds here to come, some flowers to come. Okay, so he will be covered in blooms, which is good. He has taken his time to get started. We have 3 of him planted. The 2 at the back are struggling a bit, but the one up front is doing really well. So we'll pay close attention to those 2. We'll keep babying them, and hopefully everybody will grow and return for us next spring, right? Okay, so that is it for the Rose Island. Looking good, loving what I'm seeing, loving on James, loving on the Sophie's Rose, and to be quite honest with you, really loving on Bring Me Sunshine. This island is going to work. This particular bed is actually going to work, and I'm excited about that. It's always exciting, you know, because I know I say this in almost every video when something starts to go well for me, or starts to, you know, I see the roses growing and I feel it gives me a little pep in my step. It's always nice when you see a new planting start to come together and a bed starting to fill up and fill out, and the colors blend and the roses look gorgeous. And I think we may have just gotten the combination right here. We may have just gotten the combination right. All right, so okay, let's move on. There's more to see, not just the island. Let's move on to some more of our roses. All right, let's look at the black diamond crepe myrtles. All right, the black diamonds, I think they have reached their height for the season. They're standing right at about 4 feet tall. So from here, it's now waiting for them to flower. Again, even without flowers, I love them because I love the foliage. I just love the character of them. Love them. Loving on these plants. Loving on these plants. Seen a bit of green on the leaves here. Interesting. All right, let's move on along. Lady of Shalott has a few blooms. As always, when Lady of Shalott has even just one, she's beautiful. Tranquility has been well behaved this season. I kid you not. Tranquility has normally the last 2 years, Tranquility after the first flush, that was it, and he would send up some really long canes just going everywhere. Right? This year, Tranquility is well behaved. I've only had to cut back maybe 3 of those octopus canes. Look, Lady of Shalott has them as well. See those long canes going up? Yeah, I've only had to cut back 3 canes from him, about 3 cuttings, and the rest of him is so disciplined and so well behaved, and the new growth looks really healthy. So I'm thinking that this is probably the first year. Tranquility is proving me wrong. This might be the first year that I actually get a second flush of blooms from Tranquility. All right, so that would be nice. The older leaves, I do have some black spot on the older leaves. Come on down in here, but not to the extent that we've had in the 2 previous seasons. All right, so this is good. This is a good sign. Okay, good sign, people. All right, let's see who else is doing some things. Look. This has a bud. Yeah, these hydrangeas don't like the full sun. Well, listen, I think when I started the video, I was telling you how hot it was, right? We had days that were, 2 days in particular, I think, that were almost 100 degrees. And the heat index for those days were 105 or 107. And it was burning, okay? So these poor babies really got tested in that heat, poor things. Right. I'm thinking they may be able to handle it, but they will appreciate and enjoy a little bit of shade. Look at all the burns on the leaves. Poor baby. Yeah, but new growth and even a bud. That is good. I'm thinking what we will do, and we'll talk about that, is I think I'm going to take these guys from here, and I may add them to the planting with the little hardy hydrangeas under the dapple willows. You've seen the dapple willows. Right now we have it interplanted with the little hotties and some super petunias. What I think I will do is I'm going to take the super petunias out, and in all of those spaces I'm just going to pop the hydrangeas, the rhythmic blue hydrangeas. What do you think? I'm not quite sure how the combination of the little hotties with the colored blooms of the rhythmic, how well they'll go together. But I think it might be a great spot for them because the dapple willow is actually going to offer a bit of shade, and they are going to really appreciate that bit of shade. All right, moving on to the driveway. We've got some plants in containers, and the first one that we're seeing, that nice purple foliage on top, that is the loropetalum. This loropetalum is gorgeous. I love it. The only regret that I have is that I did not plant it in the ground earlier this season. Because I am told the earlier you plant it, the more likely it is that it will survive the winter months, right? Because it'll have more time to settle on in. So for this one, we're going to keep babying this baby in a container throughout next year, hopefully in and out of the garage over the winter. And hopefully we'll have this beautiful Lure Pedalum for next season. Moving on to the Limelights. All right, believe it or not, beautiful people, this Limelight that you're looking at is the Limelight that we had here on the driveway last year. So this is its second season in a container. And I kid you not, people, this Limelight the canopy is at least 4 feet. I'm not joking. I'm serious. It's about 4 feet wide, the canopy on this container planted Limelight hydrangea. I can't believe it either. Now what happened here is that I did not prune this hydrangea back this season. I decided not to prune it because I wanted to get smaller panicles. So it does look like I will get smaller panicles, definitely way smaller than a typical Limelight. But in exchange for the smaller panicles, in exchange for the larger panicles, I did get my smaller ones, but I also got a very large plant. All right, she is healthy, right? Definitely have to keep up on my watering where this little one is concerned. But let me tell you, these Limelights are off the charts. Stop it, they're gorgeous. All right, moving on. Let me take you back here to show you a bloom-struck hydrangea. This is a bloom-struck, also planted in a container. Endless summer hydrangea, absolutely beautiful, looking healthy. She is enjoying her life right here. She gets a morning sun and afternoon shade, and she has not complained. She has not skipped a beat. Looking really, really, really good. Newly potted up this year. Right, moving on to more Limelights in containers. You're like, Naomi, listen, people, it was not intentional, right? Last year I decided that I wanted to experiment with the whole thing of dividing Limelights, literally cutting plants in half. And it worked out well for me, right? So 1 became 2 and 2 became 4, and we multiplied them that way. So we've got a lot of Limelights container planted right here. All of them are doing well. Okay, and again, just like the one I just showed you, we did not, what's that word, prune, right? So we are supposed to get smaller panicles. All right, and that's done intentionally. I should have said that. I did not prune intentionally because last year the panicles were so heavy that when it rained, my plants just flopped, right? So that's why I did not prune this year, because I wanted to see if we got the smaller panicles. One, I want to know how they're going to look, but 2, I want to see if the plant's going to be able to support all of that weight, and I'm hoping that they will be able to, right? But as they stand right here in containers, they're looking really good. This right here, this is one of the ones that was newly divided. This is a separate container. You can see the size of this panicle way different, right? So it definitely did make a difference in terms of the size of the panicle. Pruning and not pruning your hydrangeas does make a difference. Okay, let's turn around again. I want to show you the standards in the ground. Let's see. All right, this is always the trickiest spot for me to get on camera for you. This is where we have the standards, Limelight standards planted with the azuri blue, Rose of Sharon in the middle.
I want to do that wallpaper.
The all of the Limelights are doing well and coloring up beautifully for the season. No complaints there. All right, also to this planting, we added an Emily Bronte, and this is cool. I don't know if you've been following me, right? So you saw Emily Bronte on the rose walk. A few weeks ago, we removed her from the rose walk. This is not her. This is a newly planted Emily Bronte. And this Emily sits in full sun, all day sun, and I just want you to take a look at the foliage. Compared to Emily that was in the rose walk, it's Emily number 1. Look at Emily number 2. Not one bit of black spot. As healthy as a healthy rose can be. Do you believe it? So Emily was really struggling in the rose walk because she was not getting enough sun. So again, this is Emily, newly planted bare root this season. This is quite a sturdy little rose. I'll tell you a story, although it's going to make me look bad, right? Got Emily in when she was delivered. It took me at least 2.5, if not 3 weeks to get this baby planted in the ground. And one of those 2.5 weeks, this little lady spent that time in a container of water. I kid you not. And look at her. Stop it. This is a really strong, vigorous rose. I can't wait to see her flower in her true self, because my first Emily did not flower well for me. So it would be nice to see what she does right here in the space. All right. Okay, people, moving on. Let's move on. Moving on to the rose walk. This is Desdemona. Desdemona gave us a beautiful, it's probably the only rose in my garden that gave us a beautiful second flush of blooms. Right? Totally enjoyed her. And I must admit, she did way better this year than she did last year. We had a good first flush, now followed on with an awesome second flush, right? Loving her. Oh, let me let you see a bloom up close. Too close. There we go. Gorgeous rose. Alright, looking at the roses here, which is the poet's wife. This is a beautiful yellow right here with all of these buds. A pretty healthy rose. This is her first year in. She was planted last season, so this is going to be her first full season in the garden for me. And let me tell you, she blooms. Boy, she's a continuous bloomer, yes. But her growth habit is one that I am trying to figure out, because this little lady grows like a fan. She sends out her canes east, west, north, and south, right? And I have to figure out how to tame her. So you'll see that I have lots of little stakes around, just trying to bring her in. But the good thing is, for all of that effort, she does give you lots and lots and lots of flowers, and they really are quite pleasing, right? Absolutely gorgeous. Last year, she flowered straight through until the end of the season for me. She was the only rose in bloom pretty late in the season, right? The Bobos, the Bobo Hydrangeas are doing what they do. Now, I will admit that these guys would like to have some more sun. I do believe that they would appreciate a bit more sun. Again, on the rose walk, they get mostly a morning sun and afternoon shade. They survived last year, and this is what they're looking like this year. But I do know if I were to put them in a sunnier location, like these guys right here get a little bit more of that morning sun, that I would have more of the full covering of blooms from the Bobos. All right, looking good, right? All right, I know you see some little smiles smiling at you down there. Do you see them? Yes, you see them. Come on, let's see who they are. This little lady is Rhodol, finally coming into its own after 3 seasons. All right, for me. Right here beside Rhodol, we've got the Endless Summer Hydrangeas. There's a beautiful red coleus growing there in the background. And this beautiful rose that wants to get out of hand again. This is Crown Princess Margarita. This is gorgeous. I know she is gorgeous, gorgeous. This rose is in, if she gets 4 full hours of sun, that would be a lot. And I kid you not that this rose will not stop growing, and she does not stop blooming. She's gorgeous. She loves it in the shade. Right? Beautiful rose, extremely vigorous. I've not been able to tame her. I'm going to keep trying. But she is a pleasure and a joy to have in the garden. All right. All right, and that wraps it up for the rose walk. All right, beautiful people, let me go ahead and end the video here. As always, you are absolutely, totally, and altogetherly what? Stop it. You know it. You're absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see ya in the next video. All right.